Hi, I'm Diane Burton, the Masterpiece Coach, the author of The Master's Masterpiece and The Master's Masterpiece 40-Day Journal. And with me is Paula Durkers. Paula, thank you so much for being my guest today and for your willingness to share your story of how you beat cancer with a fork.
Thank you for asking.
Oh, it's a joy to have you. Paula will be sharing her journey of beating cancer with her fork. She will share her trials, her heartache, the challenges she encountered when she chose to go a different path than what the doctors recommended. So as a holistic cancer educator, I am so blessed that I got to meet you. It was kind of a chance meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I don't believe there's a coincidence on that.
I don't either.
And so it is a joy for you to share with the world your journey. And so let's get started. I've got some questions for you.
Good.
Tell us when you were diagnosed with cancer.
I was diagnosed November the 21st, 2012.
So it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years. It was the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. And what kind of cancer were you diagnosed and what stage?
I was diagnosed with infiltrating ductal mammary carcinoma. It was stage 2. The infiltrating indicates that it had traveled just beyond the nipple into the breast area.
Okay, okay. So share your story about when you were told by the doctors your diagnosis.
Okay. Well, I realized that something was definitely wrong. I had a nipple that would not, that was retracted. And so I went to the doctor, I went to my family doctor, and she sent me immediately for a mammogram.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me down the hall immediately for an ultrasound. And it wasn't exactly the best experience. It was hard. It was very difficult because at that time I knew something was wrong. Basically, I knew I had cancer, and it was difficult because I was told rather bluntly that I had cancer and I needed to do something about it. So it was a stunning event.
Even though you knew,
even though I knew,
you had an idea that something was wrong.
Right.
When they told you, it was just, she shared with me that a doctor just stepped in and said, "Oh, you have cancer,
and you need to do something about it." And he walked out. I think that was harder than even realizing that I had cancer.
Did you feel that?
Well, he walked away,
Yeah.
and I thought, what do I do now? It was. I didn't expect that time. I expected him to say, we found some abnormalities and perhaps you need to go back and speak with your doctor. My doctor recommended a biopsy, which I had, and that confirmed that I did have the cancer.
And then what choices did your surgeon, when you went to the surgeon, what choices were you given?
Well, the protocol is you can either do a lumpectomy and 35 rounds of radiation.
Wow.
Or a mastectomy and possibly chemotherapy. And I had a very interesting experience. I just felt a door come down in front of me. I couldn't really see it, but I sensed it in just a voice that said, "Don't go there, you'll die."
Wow.
And I thought very seriously during these days, what do I want to do? I pretty well knew what the protocol was, but I also knew about alternative therapies, and I knew that that was a consideration too.
So when you went to see the doctor and you told him that you chose not to do what is normally done with certain treatments, what did your doctor say?
Well, I did, when he told me what the protocols were, I said, well, I don't think I'm doing any of those. And he physically just, really? Well, you need to do something. And I said, I will do something, but it won't be those. So for about 2 weeks, he called me on and off and said, have you made a decision to have treatment or not to take treatment? I said, no, I will I will do something, but I still choose not to do those protocols.
And so why did you make the choice to go alternative?
Well, I had experienced the loss of a number of people who had done the protocols. Sadly, with breast cancer, very often the cancer will come back, not in the other breast, but in the bones or the brain. And we had just lost my sister-in-law several years before to cancer. It started out as cancer of the larynx, and it spread to her after her radiation and some severe burning from the radiation. It spread to her bones and her brain and her liver, and she had a rough end. During that time, we had done my husband especially had done a lot of research on alternative treatments in hopes that she had shown some interest. And so we had a number of books on our shelves and a lot of information that we had gotten through research. So I chose the Gerson therapy, and we had the books, and I had read them, and it seemed to make a lot of sense to do.
And you chose to even go to another state and
Yes.
learn how to do the Gerson therapy, to work with a naturopath doctor? Or
Yes, she was. She was a naturopath.
And so tell us what the process was. What did they tell you to do to heal your body?
Well, the Gerson therapy is, I had talked with the Gerson Institute several times, and they said, well, you have a lot of questions, so perhaps it would be better if you talk to a doctor in Seattle who is Gerson certified.
Okay.
And I phoned her, and we had a 40-minute talk, and I asked her why she did the Gerson therapy, and she said, I'm not interested in my patients dying. I'm interested in helping them regain their health and go on for a full life. So I thought, I can work with this doctor.
Yes, and what she's saying, what I'm hearing is she knew that when you followed what they taught, that your body could heal itself.
Right.
And would you agree that our bodies are designed, that God designed our bodies to heal?
Oh, yes. You take away all the things you're doing to harm your body. You have to take all that away and then give the body what it needs in order to heal. So I had a lot of blood work done, and that would also show other things that were out of line. And we had to correct those things. Thyroid, for instance. My thyroid wasn't functioning well, so we had to get that going. And then food was so important because the body desperately needs to heal and to build and to be strong, and this is the key thing, not to give the cancer an environment that it's happy with, that it can grow.
Exactly.
You cut off everything that the cancer wants to have, and then the cancer can't survive.
I love that. And so you followed what they told you to do, and you did juicing.
I did a lot of juicing,
How many
12 times a day.
For how long?
About 2 years.
Okay. And because cancer cells don't like real food.
No, they don't. They like sugar.
They like sugar and processed foods and boxed foods.
Free radicals,
Yes,
nitrates. They like all of that.
And they're in there just gobbling that up when you put those fake foods into the body.
That's
And
right.
so you started feeding your body real food by
food.
juicing. And but the thing is, you felt good all through that time.
I did.
You didn't have to deal with side effects of other kinds of treatments
no.
like your sister-in-law did.
No, I was never sick. I had a little bit of a problem with giving up sugar and salt. Salt more than sugar. The foods seemed bland. And then after a while, the foods had such a wonderful, real taste to them.
Yeah.
So, of course, I only ate organic. And then all the juicing. And then I had to cleanse my liver to make sure that my liver was functioning very well.
Tell them how you cleansed, if you're okay with that.
Oh, sure. I did coffee enemas.
And how many times a day did you do coffee enemas?
Well, in the very beginning, and part of it was due to the fact of I did have an inflamed liver, and it needed healing, but it also needed cleansing, because if you're killing cancer, you're releasing a lot of toxins, and even the cancer itself will break down, and you have to eliminate it. And so I had to get that liver clean and really working, and of course you want good digestion, so I had to do it 3 times a day.
Okay.
For a while, and that was hard, but I have a really strong liver today.
Well, I was going to say,
I'm thrilled about that.
You had a choice. You had a choice of following the Gerson therapy and doing the coffee enemas. And yes, we're going to be honest. Juicing takes time.
A lot of time.
And you juiced specific foods.
For the specific enzymes and vitamins and minerals.
Exactly.
Very specific.
And they worked with you. The Gerson therapy naturopath doctor worked with you on that.
Yes.
And then you did those coffee enemas, which was not pleasant.
No.
And yet, we're here 5 years later, and
tumor markers are perfect.
Yes, and you now choose to do thermograms instead of mammograms.
Yes.
And because you can see it sooner. You told me that if you had been doing thermograms all along, you would not have had to go through what you went through.
I would never have had cancer, because the thermogram shows any very, very early activity is called angiogenesis. That's when the cancer cells first start dividing, and they need more blood than a healthy cell. And the body will even be kind of tricked into building new capillaries to bring that blood in. The cells are demanding it. So if you have an area where there's more blood, there's more heat. And the thermogram will pick it up. So it will show an area of activity, but you won't have a tumor yet. A mammogram needs billions of cells, literally billions of cells, to detect any activity, and by then it's an established tumor.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, with a thermogram, they could find the situation very quickly when there's just a very few live cancer cells. Whereas a mammogram, it could have been doubling every 90 days for 8 to 10 years before it is found.
That's correct.
And that's where it's almost too late many times.
Many times, or you have to go through just terrible treatment. Whereas if you catch it in the very, very early stages, maybe you just need to do some minor adjustments.
Exactly.
Some cleansing, I haven't been eating well, I'm very stressed, I haven't been exercising. There's a lot of things you can do to eliminate that kind of early growth.
Exactly. And so isn't it better to catch it or to start now and do preventive eating?
Yes.
So that you don't ever have that diagnosis. And as a holistic cancer educator, I've received my certification through Dr. Susan Silberstein through the Center for Advancement on Cancer Education. And she has even helped cancer patients in stage 4 with proper eating, exercise, attitude. It's important to focus not just on the foods, because I asked Paula about her attitude. So what happened? You told me that you began to put your trust even more in God.
Oh, much more so. But I had a peace about it. I knew that I had a body that was perfectly capable of healing.
I love that. I think that's really, really important for people to catch, that your body is capable of healing. Do you agree that many times when someone is told they have cancer, that they believe it's a death sentence, and that's it.
Yes, I've known people who they fall apart, they worry, they stress out. The treatment itself was hard, but I never felt as though it wouldn't work. I knew that every time I had to do a cleanse and didn't enjoy that, or juice one more time, but I was getting better. And maybe it was hard work, but each day was getting me closer to healing. And I was fine. I never doubted that the cancer wouldn't go away.
And
never
that's
doubted it.
really important. The attitude is key.
I think so.
And so as you would go in for more blood work, the tumor was shrinking, or your blood work was getting better and better, and it was showing that your body was healing.
Within 7 months, I had another ultrasound, and the tumor was remarkably smaller.
Wow,
After just 7 months.
That is exciting.
It is. I was very excited.
I bet. And I have a feeling you showed a lot of gratitude and with that trust in God.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
Your attitude is so very, very important. And you have such a beautiful attitude. And I love that you're sharing, because you know there are so many people out there who have gone through what you've gone through with that diagnosis, not knowing where to turn.
Right.
And
actually, going way back, my husband had psoriatic arthritis, and he was just in his 20s. He was in the hospital a number of times, and he was on methotrexate, which is a terrible drug, and he knew that he just couldn't keep doing that at such an early age. And he had no idea what to do, and he really struggled. He talked to everybody he could talk to, health food store owners, people who had arthritis. So I understand how there can be a real struggle when you don't know where to go.
Well,
and if you don't share and you don't encourage people, then maybe they would make decisions that they would really regret.
yeah.
I'm happy to share. God's given me grace.
Well, and what a blessing you are. You've been such a blessing in my life. It has been such a joy to build this friendship and grow this relationship.
Yes.
And now our goal is to get your story out there, to give hope. A lot of people feel like they don't have that hope, and you're showing them that you can beat cancer with your fork.
Oh, you can.
And
absolutely. And
even though you were juicing, it's with those,
still,
and you were eating other foods.
So many people say, "Oh, I know that when your cancer is gone, you'll be so happy to get back to normal food." And I said, "I am at normal food.
Exactly.
This is where I'm staying. Everything just tastes so good. I'm not even tempted, because you do develop a different taste. You get rid of the sugar, you get rid of the other things, and enjoy the taste of food again."
Well, I'm also a health and wellness coach through Dr. Sears, and he calls it wisdom of the body.
Yes.
And he says that when we get rid of all those other foods, your body will begin to crave real food. And I have discovered that with myself, in the sense that I don't want those other foods. If I decide I want to have a bite of something, it tastes awful. Like, give me my fruits and veggies. I want that back, and that's what you've discovered. And so it is just such a joy. So, what 1 or 2 tips would you give to people, whether they have or have not had that cancer diagnosis?
It's time to start now. Don't wait until you feel sick or you have a terrible diagnosis. I think everybody is able to find good and healthy food. Exercise. We need to exercise to whatever degree you can, as much as you can, or if it's just some simple exercising, but breathe deeply. And spiritually, we just have to focus on God. He's given us so much that we can't do it by ourselves. Quite
Exactly.
honestly.
And this really
I
is
can't.
a
I couldn't.
Yeah. And this is a masterpiece from God. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful gift He has given us.
Oh, it is.
And I believe it's really important that we take care of it for Him.
For him, absolutely.
And so your cancer diagnosis wasn't a bad thing in your life. It
No.
was something that allowed you to step back and say, it's time for some changes. Let's take better care of this beautiful creation God gave me. And now you get to share with others and be such a blessing to them. And my prayer is that there will be people who hear your story that will choose to go the path like you did, so that their body will heal and they can have many more years.
Well, I
add
hope so.
quality of life.
Yes.
That's what's so exciting, is whether you, however long you get to live, you have such a quality of life, and that's so important.
So much better than before the diagnosis. I don't feel like stressing out over things.
Wow.
I'm much more focused, and I think a lot of it has to do with eating really good food. It helps your thinking. You feel better as your body gets healthier. You just feel better.
Yes.
Emotionally and physically.
Well, and I'm a believer that we have 3 immune systems. We're born with our physical, and then we have an emotional and a spiritual, and we
Yes.
develop those. And when one of those immune systems is out of whack, all 3 of them are
It
out of
affects
whack.
all 3.
And so our thoughts, our attitude, all of that affects our body. Stress really can kill. And I really believe that when people will take the time to work on their thoughts, work on their attitude, let God be a part of their life, and eat correctly, wow, the healing will be amazing.
Yes.
Paula, thank you again so much for allowing me to share your story with others. And
Well, thank you for asking.
oh, it is a joy. And isn't this a beautiful place where we are? We're at Nature's
is.
Way
It
Cafe, and they have a beautiful setting, and I'm just so blessed that we were given this opportunity
I
to
am
use
too.
this setting.
Thank you so much.
I want a hug.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love you and appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for allowing me to share. Hi, I'm Diane Burton, the Masterpiece Coach, author of The Master's Masterpiece and The Master's Masterpiece 40-Day Journal. And we are at Core Boot Camps, and this is the lovely Elise Wade, and we have a beautiful story to share about Miss Elise. And I want to share with you that she came to Core Boot Camps at the age of 87, could hardly get around, and we're going to show you a little bit about that. And she's now 89 years old and just doing amazing things with her fitness. And this is Angela Collins, who is the owner of Core Boot Camps. She's an amazing fitness coach, and I know someone that Elise is very, very thankful to have in her life. So thank you for your willingness to share your journey of going from someone who was having a hard time getting around. You weren't fit, you didn't feel healthy, you did not have an active lifestyle. And Angela, thank you for opening up Core Boot Camps for us to share Elise's story. As a health and wellness coach, I was so blessed when I met Elise, because you see, the myth is when you get older, your body is going to fall apart. And Elise would tell you that it's true if you don't take good care of your body. However, the real truth is, when you take care of your body, when you add exercise to your daily life, then you can have a beautiful quality of life, and you can feel good, have energy, and be one of those people who comes in and says, show me what's the next thing I can do. I want to do more. I want to get stronger. And so, Elise, how did you get started exercising?
Well, I came in with my daughter, and I sat in the corner because I don't drive anymore. And I was waiting for her. And Angela, I think, knows part of the story, but I was encouraged to try.
Okay.
And so I thought, and I told my daughter, I says, honey, I can't do those things. There's no way I can do that. But with a little coaching with Angela and some of the other members of the group that were exercising, they got me started. And boy, did I start slow.
You know, that's okay.
Because when I started, I could not raise myself out of this chair without holding on to get up like that. And now it's like,
whoa,
so
that's
you know,
amazing.
That's just one, that's a little thing, but it was a big thing.
It's a huge thing. And what I love about this story is your daughter came in for a Black Friday special. Is that correct, Angela?
Yes, it was a special that we had. It was a 2-for-1. So, you know, she got to take part in coming, and, you know, it was like there's no risk of, you know, losing anything because it was a free membership. So
yeah,
she had nothing to lose by coming.
Well, I thought, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that.
You had some misgivings about it, right?
I had some real misgivings
because,
you know, I had been retired for a long time, and I was, well, I wasn't a couch potato. I was a slouch potato.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Angela, show us a little bit share with us what her physical state was like when she came in.
Well, when Miss Elise came to us, she had, you know, a lifestyle of inactivity. You know, when we get to a certain age, we stop using it, so we lose it. So, you know, simple things like standing upright, straight with your shoulders back, you know, that was an issue because when Miss Elise came to us, you know, she was here, you know. So one of the beginning things that we worked on was just her posture and her balance, and work on some core stabilization and just some stretching, you know, because when you get to a certain age, you know, you're not reaching up to grab anything, and you're not bringing your arms back to stretch, you know. So we worked very simple things on her posture, and then, you know, with her lung capacity, maybe hollering out her name, because, you know, when you don't talk loud and you're not using, you know, that lung capacity, it's kind of hard to be able to do other things like maybe a sit-up if you don't have the breath and you don't have the, you know, the cardiovascular capacity to do the workload. So we worked on simple things like flexibility, range of motion. Her mobility was the key in the beginning, and then she's progressed, you know, to where she is today. She's always working out to her fullest capacity. I've never seen her at a time where she was slacking, even when she wasn't feeling well.
I love it. And when she came in, these mats, did you say you had more than one?
When she came in, one of the things to work with her posture is just you know, because it's hard for her to lay back and get her head flush with and not just her, you know, most people, when you're in a posture and you're always here, one of the things we have to work on is getting the head back, you know. So I'd have her lay on the floor, and we would have, you know, a stack of mats, and she would lay there for a little bit until her head and neck relaxed to that, then we'd move a mat, you know, and then we'd be there for a little while, and sometimes maybe in that hour, it was only 2 mats, you know, because you have to work to what you're comfortable with, and then over time, you know, we were able to get all the mats gone, and then she was able to progress, you know, doing things on the wall, you know, just standing and having her shoulders, trying to put her shoulders on the wall, you know. But even that, when your body is, you know, deconditioned so to where you're here, that is a chore in and of itself, just holding that posture and working on breathing. And then one of the things we did to work with her lung capacity, Miss Elise, why don't you show that? I would make you holler your name. So let's see how loud you can get it today.
Elise!
Wow. What was it like when she started?
I could be in center of the floor. I could barely hear her.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Something I want those who are watching this video to really grasp is, would you agree that many times people say they're going to go in and start an exercise program, and their first thought is, I got to come in and I got to be able to lift all these weights and do all these different exercises, and I'm going to be really sore. And what you have just shared is so key for people, is you start where your body is. You start where you are.
Well, in most gyms, that's what the typical experience is that you're going in and you're pushing the weights. But when you get in a studio where you have personal training,
yes,
or you get in with a trainer, what they're going to do is they're going to work on the areas of weakness to make you stronger in those areas. So it just, wherever you go, whatever vehicle you decide to use for, to get healthy, you just need to make sure that you're on the same page as far as what that plan offers. Just like with Miss Elise, we had a talk, and she shared some of the things that were important to her. So those are the things that we've worked on and that we're working on today.
And you also said how important it is to have someone such as you, a coach, to work with the person. Because I know in my experience, join the gym, I'm going to start doing stuff, and I get there and I tried the treadmill and the elliptical and I'll lift some weights, and I got bored with it, and I really didn't know what to do. And so by coming to a place like Core Boot Camps, Angela will guide us and work with us, and she will push me. I'm at a different level, of course. And yet, if I have an issue going on, and I know the same with you, is if I'm hurting somewhere, she will give us, okay, what can we do instead? And not push to where we hurt ourselves. Push to get stronger, but not to hurt.
And you never want to work through, pain. There's a difference between sore and pain.
Exactly.
And it's important, and she knows this. And in the beginning, one of the things I think she was trying to do is to work through it. And when she realized that, okay, I don't have to work through pain, and it is okay to ask for the regressed move. What is the next thing that I can do if I can't do this one? Would you like to maybe move to the mats?
Yes, I was just going to ask. Show us what some things. Show us what you can do, and I might do some of them with you.
Why don't you go ahead? I have 2 balls. Why don't you go ahead and you can both come over here, and let's get on the floor and see how Miss Elise just got up off the floor. That was something, out of the chair, that she wasn't able to do before. She had to go quite literally from the chair to the floor in this manner.
Wow.
And she was able just to pick herself right up out of the chair and go straight to the floor.
That's huge.
That is huge. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have you both just lie down. And one of the things that is important is your core. And when you get to a certain age and you're a little deconditioned, you're not as fit as you want to be, and things don't move as freely as you would like them. Some of the simple things as hand-eye coordination is a big deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the right knee, left knee, both knees, and come up into a sit-up. Okay, go ahead. Right knee, left knee, and sit up. Good job. Now add that middle knee to Miss Elise. Do both of them together. So right knee, left knee, both knees, and then sit up. Good job.
Okay, this is amazing for a lady. I want to remind everybody that she is 89 years young. How old you are is your business. How young you feel is Angela's. So to think that you could hardly move, you were slouched over, and look at her do this sit-up. Okay, let's do it again. You want to do one more?
Right, left, both, and now sit up. Now here's one of the things that the whole class is very proud of Miss Elise, and it took her, quite a bit of time to work on, and that's a plank. So Miss Elise, let's go into plank, okay? And you're going to do the plank.
Let's face the camera.
So what you're going to do is you're going to go into plank on your elbows, but Miss Elise, I want you to go into plank on your hands, okay? And just focus on your plank, okay? And get those legs back. Are you gonna try to do the full plank? Okay. And then, there you go. Good job. And
Wow.
see, she has her form perfect. Her posture is good. Good job. All right, and let's go ahead and go to knees. Good job. And one of the things in the beginning that she would have to do, and do you remember when we were doing cat and cow earlier, where you would take it here
Yeah.
and you would
Okay.
get in cow? So let's get in cow. Okay. Now you're gonna take that deep breath in and then exhale. And then now go into cat and arch that back up. Arch it up. And then release. Good job. One more, take a deep breath in. And now take it to cat. And then back to cow. Good job. So just little things like that, working that back, trying to bring that back from neutral into arching it and bring it back to neutral. You know, those are things that she had difficulties in struggling with. You know, one of the things also was balance and the coordination. You know, we have a long center line that goes from, you know, the one end of the core boot camps to the other, and she'll walk that center floor, and she'll walk one foot in front of the other. And, you know, in the beginning, she couldn't even do that. She'd be off to the right or off to the left, you know, and then sometimes even lose her balance, you know, like she's gonna fall. Now she can just jet across there, where I have some people that are in their 30s that have difficulty doing that, you know.
And balance is so key, because would you agree that a lot of people who have not taken care of their body, whether they're 30 or
And the
89,
age is irrelevant.
Exactly, that's when falls happen, that's when broken bones happen. And because of you taking care of yourself now, she doesn't have the fear. She told me when we were talking that because she's only 5 feet tall, that the bathtub comes like, you know,
Yeah.
to step into
Right
it.
here.
Right here.
So-
And so but she's not afraid to step into the bathtub. That is huge, because a lot of people, as they get older and haven't taken care of themselves, they can't put that leg even over to get into a bathtub. So look what you have guided her to be able to do.
It's teamwork, just like when
Yes.
you're in class. It's
Yes.
a team. Because a coach can do nothing unless the client, the person that is standing there being a part of the team is also willing to do something.
Exactly.
So unless you're willing to go all out, and she most definitely is, right down to her nutrition, you know.
Yes, that was the other thing we talked about. She said she's drinking more water, she's eating better. All those things are so important, because I know in my experience, and I know y'all know this too, that when you eat junky food, the body does not want to allow you to have the kind of energy that's necessary to exercise. And so even through the holidays that people go through, sometimes they'll eat foods and then they come into exercise, they can tell a difference. So knowing that, you want to feel good when you come into exercise,
And
right?
this is the Monday after Thanksgiving. So they should know that.
Yeah, and I chose to be careful so that when I came in today, I could do what exercises Angela put out for us. So yeah. Do you have anything else you want to share with anyone, with our audience?
It's not just Angela, but it's the group I'm with also. Everybody has been so supportive of me, and that's just, remarkable.
Yeah, and
It
you've
really
made some
is.
special friends, haven't you?
Yes, I
You
have.
look, and here's what's neat. I have a feeling you look forward to coming, correct?
I do,
Yeah.
I do.
And
Even when I have a little ache or pain, no pain, but a little bit of ache, then it's like, when I go, I know that it's going to be worked out.
yes, and you'll feel better, and you have more energy through the day to do
Right.
things, don't you? So
Well, sometimes.
I have a feeling you do a lot more now than you were 2 years ago before you started exercising. So yeah, right?
Well, yes.
Or you feel better while you're doing
I
it.
feel better.
feel better while you're doing it. Angela, anything you want to,
Well,
last words?
you both just, touched it. Whenever it's not just wholly and solely about the fitness is very important, but it's mind, body, and spirit, those things. And
Exactly.
the heart, everything is connected to the heart. So when you're in here and you make those connections and you see everyone working, when you see someone who's 89, working out and doing a plank, and you're struggling with a plank and the 89-year-old is still going, that is kind of like the iron sharpening the iron. It
Yes.
just kind of makes you want to hang in there because you know that you could do it. If she could do it, you can do it.
Exactly. Well, and as the Masterpiece coach, one of the things I teach is we have 3 immune systems. We're born with the physical, yet we also have spiritual and emotional immune systems, and those we must develop. And when one isn't healthy, none of them are healthy. So by exercising, our attitudes get better, and as you said, the heart connection is there, and trusting God and just taking care of this amazing creation He gave us. And so I just acknowledge you for taking care of your beautiful masterpiece that God gave you. And you're such an inspirationalist to so many.
I don't feel that I am.
Well, you are. And I know that people watching this video, there will be lives changed. They will want to be like you. And whether they're 30 years old or 100 years old, they will see that they also can make these simple changes that are huge. Starting one simple step at a time that makes such a difference. And now look at you. That's fabulous. Angela, thank you so much.
She has a wonderful mindset, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. I love it. And thank you for
Thank you.
telling me about Elise
yeah.
and allowing us to come over here. And
I'm proud
My
of her.
pleasure.
yes, thank you so much for watching and learning how you can take care of your beautiful masterpiece. And I encourage you, if you are not exercising, add it in. Find someone wherever you live. Find someone like Angela who will work with you where you are so that you can grow in your strength and make your body healthier so that you can be that beautiful, amazing masterpiece God wants you to be. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.